Your parents name you Jolly. You go around your whole life, so people calling you Jolly. What's wrong with that? Suppose you have no personality and people give your name Jolly.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shea Station podcast. It's Thursday, August 11th. The Mets have just swept the Reds. It is episode 89. We're creeping up on the big 100. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jack Olive. Joining me as always is Jeremy Blevins. Jerry, we've had quite the week for Shea Station, man. It's been quite the week.
Not we, you've had quite the week, my man.
Come on.
You texted to me. I actually didn't know what was happening because I'm in Ohio, blacked out on the app.
Why are you blacked out? Oh, it's Cincinnati. Duh.
I mean, yeah, we're playing the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm blacked out, so I'm listening to the game, in my earbud as I'm like hanging out with my kids, and I'm listening to Wayne and Howie Rose. They're awesome. And then all of a sudden, like, my Twitter blows up. They're like, what's going on? I get a Steve Gelb's text asking me your name. I was like, his name is Jack. Mm-hmm. I go, Jack Olive. And he's like, well, what's his full name? I go, Jack Joseph Oliver. And then apparently he didn't read the second part.
So yeah, I wanted you to debunk that because a lot of people are thinking you don't know my name now, which is that's a glaring.
No,
issue.
I was like, yeah, I'll show you. I got receipts. Trust me.
He's got the receipts. Now Steve owned up to it. Good man.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Good. Yeah. I didn't see that. But yeah, apparently you were talk of the town on a Gary, Keith, and Ron blowout, which is amazing.
I know, that's every fan's dream to be a blowout discussion. When it's a 10-2 game, they just start talking about your name. That's crazy
lovely.
Week. Yeah, I mean the Mets pod guys. Shout out to Joe and Connor. They had me on the show. We had a lot of fun. Talked some Spencer Strider. So if you haven't heard that episode, go check them out for sure. But it also meant that I got some love on the broadcast. And Shea Station.
That's pretty dang cool.
I want to give us
proudest
some love.
moment for your mom so far?
Oh, my mom loved it. She was ecstatic. She was, I think, reading her book while the game was on in the background, and she slightly heard Jolly Olive mentioned and perked up. I was like, what? What's going on? So my phone broke for a good hour on back-to-back days. The amount of people mentioning me.
That's awesome.
Nah, really good feeling. People are awesome. And also, thank you to all our Shea Station listeners. This morning we woke up and we are the number 4 baseball podcast in America. Number 2 at Jomboy Media behind Talking Baseball. So thank you to you guys for tuning in and enjoying. We love you.
I agree.
Love you big time. Also, the Mets played really well this week. They swept the Cincinnati Reds, and we get to talk about a sweep. Always a good time. Jerry, before we get into the recaps, can I tell you who they're brought to us by?
Oh, please do.
Well, Jerry, as you once famously said, I forget which episode, but it happened. If you need legal, go Siegel. They need to take that and coin it and make it their own because it's a little too good. Siegel Law Firm is bringing you the game recaps today. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's episode. They are a New York City-based personal injury and civil rights law firm. They truly care about their clients. They have what they like to call a Jerry Maguire type approach. I prefer the Jerry Blevins approach, but that's just me, where the primary concern is extreme client attention. This means clear, regular communications with clients, keeping you updated on your case and providing assistance with medical providers and insurance issues. There is a misconception that you cannot afford a lawyer. It's not true. There's no cost to consult with Siegel Law Firm and no out-of-pocket costs when they handle your case. You don't pay anything to them until they recover for you and then share a percentage of that recovery. There's nothing to lose. Don't disqualify yourself from a case for no reason. It's always worth a call to Siegel Law Firm. Give them a call at 646-810-3337 or visit them at siegel-lawfirm.com to get the legal support that you need. That's SEGAL-lawfirm.com. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's game recaps. Jerry, you want to dive right in?
Let's do it.
I'm ready to dive, man. I'm ready for the
music. Dive head first. You're game 1, of course.
I'm in. This is kind of a boring win, and I love boring wins, as the people know. After Nimmo's leadoff hit by pitch, Marte crushes a 2-run homer off Pete Alonso's friend, Justin Dunn, in the first inning. Later on, Lindor walks, then he steals, and then he scores on Vogelbach's RBI single in the third inning. The Mets were cruising, but the Reds grabbed their first run thanks to an Alonso error on a ball he just kind of dropped on an infield play. Then they get a pair of singles after that in the fourth inning. That makes it 3-1, but Chris Bassett was on a heater in this game. He has been absolutely special in his last 5 starts. This one, he goes 8 innings, allows 1 unearned run, so 0 earned runs, 8 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 114 pitches For the Bassett Hound, the Bulldog, that's the Mets season high on the year. His ERA plummets down to 3.39. Chris Bassett has thrown the top 5 pitch totals in a single game this year. They're all owned by our guy Chris. He is there to eat innings, and I absolutely love it. He worked around multiple runners on from the 4th and the 7th, yielding just 1 run across those 4 innings. Later on, after 2 strikeouts to start the inning, the Mets put together a 2-run rally in the 8th. Vogelbach doubles, Mcneil is hit by a pitch, and then Tyler Naquin, maybe my new favorite Met, he hits a 2-run triple. He's been doing it all. Absolutely love that addition. Later on in the 9th, Adam Ottavino lets 2 on, but seals the 9th with a K of old friend Matt Reynolds. The Mets get multi-hit games from Lindor and Vogie, stolen bases from Marte and Lindor. It was a easy, no-pressure win because of how good Bassett was. The Mets win Game 1 5-1.
Nicely done.
Thank you very
good
much.
Recap. Good W.
Thank you. Got
Bassett has been great. For Pete Alonso, that's one of those weird throws where you don't know how to catch the ball because it's like, is it high enough for me to hold my hand up, the glove up, or am I going to flip it? And he got caught in between. Doesn't happen very often. You don't see it, and it looks like a little league mistake because it kind of is. But I think he was expecting the ball maybe to sink a little bit, and he'd have to scoop that up because he tried to catch it like when you're teaching. Speaking of teaching little kids, T-ball. I was T-ball coaching yesterday, my son.
Nice.
And we're doing like little pop-ups, and they hold their glove out like this, and if it's high, they just raise their hand in the air. And so that's kind of what Pete did. He just was like, no matter where the ball is, I'm not going to move my hand. I'm just going to move my arm.
Right. Originally, it wasn't called an error, which kind of shocked me, but they changed it later on. So that gives Bassett 8 shutout innings for his ERA. Loved that for him. He's been really, really good his last 5 starts. Kind of sneaky because everyone's been good.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it in this recap. They've been feeding off of each other, and it's pretty awesome. That brings us to game number 2. Speaking of continued success, Cookie Carrasco looks to continue his absolutely in fuego month of July into August, and he does just that. After trading zeros with Mike Minor for the first couple of innings in the bottom of the 3rd, Francisco Lindor smacks his 20th home run of the year, a 2-run shot, scoring Mark Canha, who led off the inning with a walk to make it 2-0. In the bottom of the 4th, Jeff McNeil joins the home run party, smacking his 7th home run, this time off of a lefty. The first home run off of a lefty this year. Don't let this guy get hot versus lefties. It'll be unbelievable. He's hot in general. Since the All-Star break, he has an OPS of over 900. Ladies and gentlemen, 3-0 in the 4th. That moves to the 6th. McNeil adds another run, scoring Darren Ruff, who doubled earlier in the inning to make it 4-0. Cookie Carrasco, who has been cruising through 6, enters the 7th to try to stretch into the 7th inning, but he gives up a 2-run shot to Jake Fraley to make it 4-2 Mets. He ends up his day at 6 2/3, 7 hits, the 2 runs on that home run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. This guy is unbelievable. National League leading, tying league in wins with the lucky number 13. He's been incredible. That was 4-2 when he exited the ball game, but immediately following that 7th, the Mets answered with 2 runs of their own on a Darren Ruff 2 RBI single. That makes it 6-2. That would be the final score and a W for a game 2 for the New York Mets.
Hell yeah. Curse broken once again. Good for Jerry. He gets a game 2 win. How do you like these last 5 starts from Bassett and Cookie? 1.85 ERA for Bassett in his last 5. Cookie all the way down to a 1.44 in his last 5 starts. Pretty good.
Yeah, that home run in the 7th inning skyrocketed that number. They're both incredible. So fun to watch, man. So fun. They attack. Cookie moves fast. Bassett will move fast and then just slam the brakes and shake for about 35 minutes, randomly. But I love watching both of them pitch. It's really fun. Cookie's got that slider splitty combo. Bassett's doing everything. Like just a fun team. Don't let Jeff McNeil, first of all, heat up.
Don't let him
start slugging against lefties.
Don't let him.
He's been hitting. He hit like 300 off. Hold on, I had the splits up. I don't have them anymore. He's been hitting lefties, but it's just been singles, slapping them here and there.
Right.
He's starting to drive the ball on lefties and righties. That's trouble, because that's starting to reach back into that territory of his breakout season where he was hitting homers left and right, slapping doubles everywhere. I think he's starting to feel comfortable in his own shoes in the batter's box, willing to try to drive the ball a little bit versus lefties, but he's picking and choosing. He is an incredible hitter.
He is going to be in our Apple discussion later for sure. That was his first homer off a lefty this year, so good for Jeff. The monkey's off his back there.
He had 4 in the first half.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 already in the second, in 16 games.
I would love for Jeff to get to double digits. Doesn't have to be 20.
Oh, I think he's gonna.
I would love 10 for sure. Yeah, Jake Fraley really crushed that ball off Cookie. I think Cookie was running out of steam towards the end there. He did throw one middle to Aquino, who just kind of popped it up. But Fraley definitely connected there. Darren Ruff had a nice game, so good for him. Big hit there in the 6th inning and later on as well. Trevor May, I was very encouraged by his composure in the 8th inning to get out of that bases-loaded jam. Had a couple walks there, but pretty much worked every count, either full or to 2 strikes. So he was in every at-bat. He's still calibrating, I think, a little bit. And then Seth Lugo has looked pretty much amazing since July. He looked really good in the 9th inning there. So lots to like from Game 2.
Love it.
Game 3 time?
Game 3.
The Mets went into Game 3. They could have rested Lindor. They could have rested their stars, but they said, no, let's step on the neck of the Reds. And TJ Zoik, kind of a fun last name. Gary really liked saying that last name too, which I thought was fun. They pounced on Zoik for 6 runs in the first 3 innings. In the first, Nimmo and Lindor reach, and then they score on Alonso's single and McNeil sacrifice fly. The Mets have scored multiple runs in the first inning for the 22nd time this year in this game. Pretty cool. Lindor brings home Canna in the second, and McCann on a 2-run single. Francisco Lindor's batting .305 with runners in scoring position. He continues to do it. Alonso and Vogelbach single back-to-back to bring home another run there. And then Tyler Naquin, my new favorite Met, puts the exclamation point on it with a 3rd inning solo home run. He's just been mashing extra base hits. This would be all that Taijuan Walker needed as he bounced back from his rough start against the Braves and turns in a quality outing against the Reds. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, no home runs, which is what I like to see. 91 pitches, that ERA goes down to 3.43 on the season. Taijuan Walker has been kind of a day game assassin this year. He has a 1.56 ERA in day games, so good for him. Keep him in the sunlight, guys. That's where we need him. He's like a flower. He needs the sunlight. Vogelbach.
The anti-vampire?
Something like that. Vogelbach doubles home 2 runs in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. Alonso tried to score. He was out by a mile, but we like that anyway. Mcneil follows up with a double of his own. He continues to rake. That makes it an even 10 runs for the Mets, and the bullpen did their thing. Lugo on back-to-back days. He gets a scoreless inning there. Trevor Williams, you can use him pretty much whenever you want. He is the puzzle piece that always fits. He does the 8th inning there. His last 6 appearances, 18 shutout innings. Good for Trevor Williams. And then my guy, Adonis Medina, finally back with the big league club. He gets an easy 9th inning on less than 10 pitches. The 3 of them combined for 3 shutout innings and only 1 hit allowed. The Mets go 7 for 14 with runners in scoring position. They knock 4 extra base hits, multi-hit games for Lindor, Alonso, Vogelbach, Naquin, and Guillorme, and the Mets are now 25-7 in the 3rd game of a series this season. They win this one in very convincing fashion, 10-2. They sweep the Reds, and they keep pace with their next opponent, the red-hot Philadelphia Phillies.
Nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
Good W, good sweep. Again, this Mets team does not play down to their competition.
Love it.
They don't let the 5-game series in Atlanta carry over and they play with a hangover the next series. They're not allowing it. This is a championship style team. I can't stress it enough. This is a disciplined, well-oiled machine of a team, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah, it really is. I think maybe I'm glad that you said that they're beating up on the bad teams, because we always talk about the 2-week swoon that ended last season with the Dodgers and Giants. Maybe the more frustrating losses for me were the games that you could have won in Miami against the Marlins, or the games that you dropped in Colorado to the Rockies. The Mets are winning those series now in convincing fashion, and and maybe in a previous life, I'm saying, oh, give Lindor the off day. He's played like every game this season, or DH him at the very least. But then he went in there and he went 2 for 3. He drew a walk. He scored 2 runs. He was a key piece in the Mets offense for that day. And I don't know if you saw it, his post-game interview with Steve, where there was not a smile on his face. He was completely serious, not satisfied. Talked about the win and talked about the team, but he clearly has his eyes on September and October and ensuing months. It's very, very cool to watch.
I did not have to check it out again. Everybody, first of all, thanks to anyone who's offered their SNY, code for me to log in and watch. I love a good excuse to listen to Howie Rose and Wayne Randazzo on the radio. I truly enjoy listening to the games. So I didn't get to see the SNY coverage, which I don't know. Is that illegal for me to say?
I don't think so.
Being an employee of SNY that I can't, can I do
You're
that?
You're getting a sternly worded email in about 15 minutes.
We'll see. Yeah. But I didn't get to see that. I'll check it out.
Definitely got a great interview there. Lindor had another
Smile. No smile.
I know, which is it was perplexing to me, but I was also like, I like this side. Like, he's serious. Like, he's not thinking about day to day. He's thinking about big picture, which I love.
Yeah. I got to say one thing real quick though. Yeah. Looking over your shoulder at that caricature, that is.
It's been up for like 5 episodes. I think this is the first time.
I know, but I've been ignoring it for a while.
Why?
That is.
You don't think he's handsome?
No, I do not.
Why?
Not in any sense.
Do you want to hear the story?
Does it capture your radiance in caricature form? That is like your eyebrows, your look. You look like serial killer.
A little bit. I look
like I think I've seen a Netflix documentary about that guy
making a Jolly Olive murderer, something like that. When we went to LA, we went to a fun party with our investor Jack Davis, and there were 3 caricature artists. One on the left, one in the middle, one on the right. The one on the middle and the one on the left had big lines, and the one on the right had nobody there. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll go there. I go over to this guy. We have a great conversation about the caricature game in LA and how, he knows all these guys, and sometimes they pop up in the same place. We had an absolutely excellent exchange from human being to human being. And then I see my good friend Zach Esposito walk over and see the caricature that I can't see because you're not allowed to see until it's finished.
Yeah.
And I see Zach just grimace. And then he looks at me and he smiles. And Zach's too nice. He's not going to say anything.
Zach is the sweetest.
He's so sweet, so he's not going to say anything. So I'm like, what am I about to look at? And then he shows it to me at the end, and it's that. And I wanted to leave it there.
Let me pretend that, oh, here it is, sir. What do you think?
I was cordial and polite. I was like, great. I took it, folded it up. I put it somewhere, and I wasn't going to take it home. And then Zach decided, no, we need to take it. And he took it.
Yeah, you need to put that somewhere, not to where I have to stare at it.
I think it's a good luck charm.
Contrast to that glorious face of yours, it's scary, man. It looks like he's staring at you.
Jerry, I hate to say it, but the Mets are, I think, 15-2 since I've put up this caricature artist.
All right, well, do whatever you got to do. Listen, I'm just going to tape up on my screen.
Oh, that's fine. Put a little gray box there or something like that. It's perfect. Yeah, we don't mess with Juju on the show.
T-shirt I'm wearing? Do you have one of these?
I need to get one. I have one with the pocket that says Jomboy Media, but I like the clean
this
JM.
one, the little JM pocket.
Like it.
Stellar.
Like it a lot.
It's a really comfortable shirt.
Shop.jomboymedia.com.
Sorry to bring that up, but I was just...
No, this is an ad now. This is a full-blown ad.
Yeah. Awesome series.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to do apples?
I think I want to do apples. It's kind of another tough one. A little bit.
It is a very tough one.
I think I know who you're picking, though. I think I know exactly. What? I think I know exactly who you're picking.
Oh, because I don't even know yet.
Oh, I'm in your brain. I already know.
You might be. You might be after, I got dragged on the internet and on regional TV for apparently not knowing who you are.
Yeah, I know.
I did after our exchange, I did have to learn Jack Sorensen, right. Audio Jack's middle name.
Jack just got doxxed on Shea Station.
Alden.
Alden. I like it.
Yeah, it's
too.
my mom's maiden name.
I like it a lot.
Nice.
So now you know everyone's name. It's 2 Jacks.
I do.
It can be confusing.
Alden.
I get it.
And first of all, for somebody who's notorious and admittedly horrible with names, I'm horrible with names. We were talking about SNY. On SNY, we did a segment on one of my pre-games called Who Dis, where they're like, who are these people?
I remember this.
Yeah, and I'm bad with names. And I called our director, who I met one time, who's really nice. His name is Ryan. I was like, is that Rich?
Come on.
So every time you walk, and in my defense, always wearing a mask. So
Yeah.
I see like this. So it's horrible for me.
It's not your fault.
But every time he walks by me now, he goes, "Who dis?" And I'm like, "All right, Ryan." But
Rich is
I got
close.
dragged, and I actually knew your name. That hurts. It hurts.
I know. Steve really set you up for failure.
But I mean, you're a superstar now, man.
Apparently. Superstar with no name. Or I guess too many names.
Next caricature, your head's going to be this big.
I know. It's the ego just inflating my brain.
Exactly.
All right. You want me to go first?
I do, because I'm just stalling.
Well, before I go, Jerry, can I tell you who it's brought to you by?
Yes, you may.
Our good friends at Bear Burger bring you the apple of our eye today. Shout out to them. Something for everyone at Bear Burger. Yes, even you. They're a burger joint, but they're not bogged down by labels. They offered to actually send our office some food, so I'm hoping that'll come through soon, because I would love to get a Bear Burger lunch going here at the Jomboy office. Bear Burger Kitchen and Bar Happy Hour, you already know, it's the best in New York City, guys. 12 to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday. Go pretty much anytime during your office hours. Cut out of work. Go get a drink. No one's going to know. I won't tell on you, I promise. The exotic burgers, they're back. They've always been here. Elk burgers, ostrich burgers, bison burgers, completely appetizing to the ear and the mouth. Bar bites at Bear Burger Kitchen and Bar. All food items for $9.95. What a steal. Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. 2 Nashville sliders, 6 PBRs, and a martini, all for under $20. Bear Burger's trying to get me loaded on a Thursday? Okay, fine. Lunch special, Bear Burger Kitchen and Bar, 12 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, $14.95, everything served with fries. Love all those offers, love all the deals. Gotta love Bear Burger. Click the link in our description on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube to find yourself at your favorite new happy hour spot, burger joint, and luncheon at marketing.bearburger.com. Definitely go check them out. They're absolutely delicious, and they sponsored us once again, and we love them. All right.
Thank you, Bear Burger.
I think it's apple time. Lots of good choices here. Lots of good stuff here.
The apple of our eye.
Gotta give some love, first off, to Tyler Naquin. He's not my pick for today, but he's absolutely stuffing the stat sheet when he gets to play. 3 for 7, 2 runs, a double, a triple, a homer, a walk, 3 RBI. When he gets to play, he does everything. He stole a base last series. He plays great defense, and he's kind of a hot boy. A little bit of a hot boy. Jay, you're smiling.
I love it, man. I'm glad you shouted him out, because first of all, he mashed against his former team, which feels so good. I guarantee you that one.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, he's been awesome. He does everything. Like, again, I don't want to say bad things about Travis Jankowski, because I loved him. He was a good character fill in for the Mets.
For sure.
Part of the story, but he does everything that Jankowski does a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also got to give some love to another trade acquisition, Dan Vogelbach, who's completely transformed the DH spot on the Mets roster. After the Vogelbach deal, the Mets are number 1 in batting average at DH and number 2 at OPS, and that's a large part because of Dan Vogelbach and Darren Ruff. Vogie went 4 for 9 with 2 doubles and 4 RBI. I think I got to give it to Francisco Lindor, though. I've been letting you pick Lindor a lot recently. I think we've picked him on like 4 or 5 straight episodes. He had an unbelievable series. I think the reason why I want to pick him, first of all, round of applause for our guy Lindor.
Yeah, well deserved.
Absolutely.
I was thinking last series, you were going to give it to Pete. So I gave it to Francisco. Pete probably deserved it more, but again, there's no wrong answer.
3 saves for Edwin. I got to give it to him.
Our apples of our eye.
It's biased completely. Also, Edwin didn't pitch this series, which I absolutely loved, because now he's fully recharged.
You actually called for that early.
I did.
Yeah, you're like, I hope we win, and Edwin doesn't have to pitch.
No offense to his family, who showed up big time, had the half red, half Mets jerseys.
Had the Mets jersey.
It was so good. But I was like, don't throw him at all. Lindor has been on an absolute heater since that finger healed up, and he's having a generational month of August for sure. He goes 3 for 10. He scores 5 runs in 3 games, hits a homer, collects 4 RBIs, walks twice, steals a base. He's literally doing everything, including his platinum glove defense. He could have sat in that last game. He could have DH'd, and instead he's out there playing shortstop, the best shortstop in the game right now for me. He has matched David Wright's record for the most consecutive games with a run scored, 13 in franchise history. If he scores 1 tomorrow night, he'll have the record. He has been incredible, an absolute integral cog of this Mets lineup, setting the stage for pretty much everyone behind him. He is the apple of my eye.
That boy, Mr. Smile. Even though apparently you didn't smile,
Very
but
serious.
good job.
Mr. No Smile.
Yeah, man, that's well deserved. I'm gonna give a shout out, but not my Apple winner, to Jeff McNeil, who went 4 for 10, 2 runs, a double, that homer, 4 RBI. I am calling it that he is going to be my Apple for next series.
I like that early call.
That's my prediction, because I see McNeil on a streaky squirrel. You gotta love it.
Gotta love it.
But he was great. But my Apple goes to Chris Bassett.
Knew it. Ohio guy.
Ohio boy. 8 innings, 0 earned runs, 8 hits, 1 walk, 8 Ks. He's 15 consecutive innings pitched without an earned run in his last 5 starts, a 1.85 ERA. 8 innings, basically 8 shutout, but 8 innings with 1 run. The reason, not just because that line is amazing, the reason why I'm giving him the Apple is because he was the game 1 starter after the huge emotional adrenaline junkie of a series against Atlanta. He came out and said, there is no let up with this team. I am going to shut these guys out, allow my offense to get their feet going, get moving in the right direction. Buck Showalter talked about it, because it starts with pitching. Starting pitching doesn't allow hiccups like that. And Chris Bassett came out and said, guess what, Cincinnati, we're going to treat you like the, lowly NL team that you are, and we're going to kick your butt. And I love it, man. It's a sign of who this team is in their DNA. So Chris Bassett is the apple of my eye.
Absolutely love that you mentioned that he was the only one that didn't get some love in the Braves series, because it just wasn't his turn in the rotation. Kept the intensity up, also rested up the bullpen that got heavily used in that 5-game series. Gave him 8 innings, 114 pitches. Dude,
old school.
Crazy. I love it.
The Mets are old school.
I love it. I want to see a complete game.
Their pitching staff goes deep.
I know. I'm still waiting for that first complete game. I think it's Bassett's to get at this point for sure.
How about our boy Syndergaard's complete game that he got the other day?
What was it? 5 innings, right? Also,
I was looking at the NL leaders because I started out looking at Cookie Carrasco's 13 wins.
Yeah.
And who he's tied with, and I just kept going on the baseball reference page, and I was like, oh, complete games. Alcantara has 3, then there's a bunch of people with 1, and I was like, Syndergaard. Oh yeah, it was 5 innings.
5 innings, 11 hits, 4 runs. That's the stat line you like to see there. Got the win though.
Got the CG win. Yeah, it was a tough debut for him, but he got a W. And between him and Frankie Montas, their debuts weren't as planned. So.
We can talk about that. I mean, I believe Noah pitched last night, right? He did. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Marlins. So we're not going to see him again. He's dodging us again.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Scared. We got, we have a day off today, the Mets. So that's going to be a good chunk for the bullpen to rest up.
Yep.
Trevor May looking sharp, not sharp yet. Coming back, building up. His velo's there. He's starting to develop that confidence again, and Buck is doing a great thing of getting him out there and letting him throw. The Mets offense giving him that chance to have some breathing room to not, but the team looks so good right now.
Yeah, I love that. I love the way that Buck is using Trevor May right now, and I also loved because I believe it was his first batter. He got him to 3-2 and then used his changeup and I think let up a single, got to that exact same count on the next hitter and used the changeup again, because I really think he's trying to find that changeup as a devastating strikeout pitch, and he was able to kind of harness it for the first time, I think, in yesterday's outing. Still bases loaded, still shaky, walking guys and stuff like that, but he's getting back to where he was, and we're going to need him in the September home stretch. We need him to be a guy. For sure.
I agree. So it's nice to see. You have a note here that I think is also a really good sign of what this Mets team does. It's the first one. It says the Mets have worked the starting pitcher to at least 20 pitches in the first inning in 47 games this year.
Crazy.
That is a lot. 20 pitches. If you don't know, you want to be an average inning is 15 pitches.
Yeah.
You want to be under that mark. If you're at 15 as a pitcher, you're all right, because you're going to pitch, 5-6 innings if you keep that pace up. A lot of guys want to be in that 12, that 12 pitch area, but 20 pitches is a lot. Very taxing. And knowing that's happening so many times, you're just getting into the bullpen already. You're already getting into the psyche of a starting pitcher that wants to get off and running in a positive direction.
Yeah.
You got to pounce on, especially the really good pitchers early in the game is when they're most vulnerable because they're not in that groove yet. That is an awesome note. I'm glad you add that in because that is another sign of what this team does, man. They wear guys down.
Yeah. That was the great Michael Mayer who provided that stat, so thank you to him. The Mets are 32-15 when they make the pitcher throw 20 pitches in the first inning. Spencer Strider was a key point of our discussion last episode. They made him throw 29 pitches in the first, ended up going less than 3 innings. It's a formula for success.
Oh, it is. Apparently, those are like fake hits.
Oh, it was lucky. Sorry, yeah, lucky 29 pitches. My bad. I should have known.
I thought our Talking Baseball boys covered that. Trevor Plouffe, and Jimmy and Jomboy, I think covered that topic. So if you're curious, go back and listen to that episode of Talking Baseball because, I mean, I don't mind what you're saying because it's true, but dropping like BABIP and
that was the big thing.
It's a sign of weakness and excuses, even though it may be true. There was a lot of things that went the Mets' way.
Yep.
But to use that as a crutch, you didn't even get through 3 innings, man. It can't all be luck.
And I love that Jimmy included the full quote because I think the part of the quote that's getting lifted the most is the lucky hits aspect, which is, it's hilarious, of course.
And Jimmy's smart like that, dude. Yeah. That's why he's the best in the biz because he puts it into context. But still, you don't, Charlie Morton's got to go over and Max Fried be like, dude, shut up, please. You just gotta stop.
And Max Fried, I mean, had great quotes the night before. So, I mean, it's so jarring in contrast.
Yeah.
Mets offense is definitely clicking, though. We talked about the DH spot getting brought back to life. Naquin's been amazing. The Mets have scored 5 or more runs in 9 straight games. That's the longest streak in the major leagues this year of
Say
any
that
team.
again?
5 or more runs in 9 straight games. Longest streak of any team this year.
Wow.
Crazy. Offense is clicking. Big part of that is Jeff McNeil's 13-game hit streak where he's batting .407. Pretty freaking good there. And Francisco Lindor, his 81 RBI is tied for the most by a Mets shortstop in a single season ever. For those who don't want to hear it, here it is. Francisco Lindor is probably going to be on pace to be maybe the best Mets shortstop that we've ever seen in our franchise history. Very, very cool. Hope so. Fingers crossed.
I mean, that's what you signed up for.
That's what you signed up for.
Hey, you've had a good one in Jose Reyes, man.
Yeah.
Ray Ordonez, Jose Reyes.
Yep.
To me, Jose's, that's a generational talent. I think he'll be retired in the, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think his number will be retired. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Again, it's possible, but he'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame for the Mets. And so anytime you're talking about, an all-time great for a Met, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really good company for Lindor. Starting pitchers have been doing it too. 2.53 ERA since July 1st. That's over a month and a half at this point. It's just everything's working, and it's just fun to watch. There's no other words for it. It's just fun. Really cool.
Love it.
Also, kids on the farm are having some fun too. Brett Beatty got called up to AAA, got his first couple hits last night, and Francisco Alvarez already has 5 home runs in 23 games at AAA. So September is around the corner. I don't know if they're going to let the kids play, but keep those names in mind because 3 big ones in Beatty, Alvarez, and Vientos are all at the highest minor league level and are probably salivating at the thought to get an at-bat with the best team in baseball.
Here's my thought here.
Yeah.
And this is just off the top. I haven't thought deeply about it. I don't know. What's the roster expand to? 29?
It's not 40 anymore. I know that.
No. It was 28 now that they made 26. Anyway, I think that it would be a solid idea for them to call these guys up.
Yeah.
Because you want to get a taste of the big leagues and what it's like, how to win, how to be a good team, what it takes day in, day out. This is the team you want to come up and be a part of, to look around, to see how these guys go to work.
Yeah.
I think it would be a pretty cool sign, even if they don't get much playing time. If you're going to put them on the roster, might as well have them come up and get a taste of what it's like to be on a good, winning, well-oiled machine. So
I wholeheartedly agree. I also just realized that it's 28 players in September, which kind of poses an interesting situation for the Mets because there's not enough spots to go around for all 3 of those guys. They might want an arm to come up too, so they have a lot to think about with roster expansion.
They'll call them up and I think you're allowed to rotate guys in and out on the roster. So they might just call them up and let them hang out. And
I think that would be beneficial.
It's so beneficial to feel what it's like to be and see what it takes to be successful at the top level. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen. So
Jerry, who the hell are we playing next,
okay,
man?
we have a day off.
Nice.
So we played nobody today. Let me pull this up real quick. But the Phillies, Fighting Phils of Philadelphia,
Red hot Phillies, by the way.
the hot Phillies, they're 6 in a row, coming off 6 in a row, winning 11 out of their last 12. They're coming to New York, and it's going to be an absolute battle. It's a 3-game set. The pitching matchups are stellar. Let's dive in.
I'm excited.
Game 1, Max Scherzer, 8-2 with a 1.98 ERA, going up against Ranger Suarez. Ranger, great name. He's 8-5 with a 3.68 ERA, not bad in his own right. Eduardo Escobar off of Rangers, 3 for 5 with a home run. Gene Segura, 12 for 33 with a home run against Max Scherzer. Philly has hit Scherzer decently well this year. 17 innings pitched. It's an 8 earned runs and a 299 batting average against him. The Mets haven't faced Suarez since his 2022 debut. He went 2 2/3, allowing 3 earned runs, 5 hits. That is game 1. Game 2 puts Jacob deGrom, the GOAT, the man, the myth, the 96-mile-an-hour sliders. He is 1-0 with a 2.53 ERA, not indicative of how nasty he's going. But he is going up against Aaron Nola, who is having a resurgence, and it is in the Cy Young talks. Aaron Nola is 8-8 with a 3.17 ERA. DeGrom in his last start retired 17 straight Braves in order with 12 strikeouts. Aaron Nola versus the Mets this year, 16 1/3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs on 13 hits, 4 walks, 21 Ks. Kyle Schwarber against Jacob deGrom, not great so far. 1 for 12 with 6 punchies.
Oof.
That is a good sign for deGrom. Game 3, the final game of this 3-game set, puts Chris Bassett, who we just talked about, the apple of my eye, is 9-7 with a 3.39 ERA against good friend of mine, old friend of the Mets, Zach Wheeler, who is also in discussion for Cy Young. Got a late start to the season, but is truly one of the aces in the game. He is 10-5 with a 2.69 ERA. Zach Wheeler versus the Mets this year, he's 0-1. But that is, he's 10 2/3 innings and only given up 2 earned runs. That is his line. And Bassett versus Philly this year, even better, 11 2/3 innings pitched and 2 earned runs. That will be a battle. This is going to be a knockout of a series. We thought the Braves were it, but the Phillies are in the playoffs. If the season ended today, they would be the number 2 wild card. They are playing really good baseball. Their lineup can hit. Their starting pitching is solid and top heavy, and we are seeing those 3, and they are good.
Oh, yeah. 3 really fun matchups. Nice preview as always, Jerry. These 2 teams have not played since May 29th, when the Phillies last came to Citi Field and got swept. Don't know if you remember, but Nick Plummer hit the big game-tying home run. Eduardo walked him off in extras. That was a very fun win. But the Phillies, since we've last played them, have really turned things around. They were 21-29 at the end of May. Then they fired their manager, and now they're back up to 62-48. So since that moment, they've been very, very good. Lots to look out for. Zach Wheeler is on a heater recently, upping that Cy Young case that you talked about. His last 4 starts, he has a 1.67 ERA in 27 innings. He's been really good. The Phillies have surprisingly hit Scherzer well, but I think we've seen a new Scherzer. And ever since he's come back from the IL, he's looked like he's on a mission. He's been absolutely excellent. That ERA is below 2 now. And I think that the Mets can really platoon these guys to death. They got Suarez in the first game, that lefty, and they've got a lot of righty options now that they like. And then Nolan Wheeler will be a tough task, but I think this is probably my favorite 3 pitching matchups of any series we've seen this year. It's going to be awesome.
This is a good one, man. And like I said, the Phillies are doing this, and they're doing it without Bryce Harper, who is otherworldly. So they're expecting to get him back at some point this season to make a good run. They're going to be a tough one if they make it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Kyle Schwarber's mashing. He's got 34 homers. Rhys Hoskins has turned it on.
Yeah,
he's got 24 homers. JT Realmuto is living up to his.
Yeah, he's been hot.
Yeah, he's living up to his contract. Who else? Alec Boehm, who
Alec
had a
Boehm
rough
was one
start.
guy I was gonna highlight.
He's hitting well. Castellanos is still kind of stuttering, but he's turned it on lately too. Yeah, man, these guys can mash. They don't play great defense, as we know. That's where we can take advantage of it.
Yep.
And a team like the Mets that put the ball in play is very good. But again, their starting pitching likes to put up strikeouts. So if we can put pressure on their defense and play Mets style baseball, which I expect them to do, we're the better team.
Yep.
I think so. But this is a good Phillies team. The last time we faced them, they were face planting, and now they are standing tall with their shoulders back, feeling confident.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. This is a very different Phillies team. They trimmed the fat of Didi Gregorius and Odubel Herrera. They really upgraded their bench. They got Derek Hall, who's been mashing 8 home runs and 109 plate appearances.
Yeah, he's been wild.
He's been really good. Edmundo Sosa, Brandon Marsh. This is a much more complete roster, even with the unavailability of Bryce Harper. Alec Boehm turned it on. JT Realmuto has a 1.290 OPS in his last 10 games. He has been on fire. And remember when we saw him last, he was ice cold. So this Phillies team is going to hit. I mean, they should have been hitting all year long, but they're finally clicking now. So be ready for the Mets pitching that has been absolutely stellar since the beginning of July. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, their bullpens, they've trimmed the fat of their bullpen too. They got rid of old friend Jerry's Familia.
Yep.
And they upgraded Robertson, the guy that we wanted. They have Robertson and Schwarber on their team. That's the 2 guys that we wanted.
We wanted them real bad.
Yeah, but they've got Robertson closing. They've got Sir Anthony Dominguez, who was their heir apparent for a while, had some hiccups, had some health issues, but he's back there. Knable. They have a kid named Bellotti who's dialing it up, and old man Brad Hand.
That's the one that makes me the most mad, I think.
He's very good against lefties this year. He's having a really good year. And then Jose Alvarado throws $100 billion from the left side.
$100 billion.
He's struggling though, but they have pieces, man. This is a good team.
This is the best Phillies team we've seen in quite a while. They are up to the 2nd wild card spot now. They jumped the Padres. They're looking to jump the Braves as well. They're only 3 games back of the Braves, so you never know. Yep. And we are getting definitely the 3 best pitchers in their rotation. We're not seeing Kyle Gibson and Noah Syndergaard. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be there tomorrow for the blackout night. I'm very excited for that. So if you're going as well, come find me. Come say hey. We'll have some fun.
I'll be here in Ohio.
Sad. When are you back in New York?
Let me see. I am doing the games. Let me check my schedule real quick.
On his schedule. I missed
it. Yeah, right. Next weekend, I'm doing the 19th through the 23rd. So I'll be next Friday through Tuesday.
Ooh, that means 22nd we can probably do in-person app.
Yeah, I'll go into the office and you'll be on your 8th vacation of the year.
Well, I'll be in Baltimore that weekend, but I'll be back Monday and Tuesday.
Is Audio Jack around?
He's there. He's
chilling. Let me hear.
What's up?
I just wanted to hear your voice.
Oh, that's sweet.
Jack Alden.
Sweet.
That's me.
Getting doxed.
All right, boys.
Jerry. Hey, great episode.
Oh, man, you're on another level. If you start referring to yourself in the 3rd person, I'm gonna be upset.
No.
Self claps. Way to go. I did great today.
No, great episode by all of us.
Oh, gotcha. That's cool.
Go. Come on.
I won't let your head get too big.
No,
even though Gary, Keith, and Ron, you guys are on first name basis.
No.
Even Gelbsy in there.
Yeah, a little bit. But they got it wrong,
right.
and that kept me grounded, which I think is good. If they said it right, it would have been too much.
Gotcha. All right, well.
See you Monday.
For Jolly, I'm Jerry, and Audio Jack.
Alden.
We're Shea Station, and we are out.
We'll see you guys Monday.
Let's go Mets.
Talk about another series win. Enjoy your day off.
Enjoy the day.
Enjoy it. The Mets will.